Okay, we're going to talk about feeding your feelings. A lot of reasons why people feed their feelings. I mean, sometimes people are just seriously freaking happy. Or maybe they get together with friends and family and are eating and having a good time, or just comfortable. Maybe they're at a very content place in their life. Some people get into new relationships and they call them, what do they like, just comfort foods and stuff, and they're enjoying that time with a new person. And then some people, the freshman 10s out there where you're stressed out or you start a new job and things like that, where people seem to eat for different reasons. I tend to eat when I get very sad and depressed. And there's been several things that have gone on in my life that have created this. Started very young. And my dad passed away when I was right out of high school. And it was just one of those really hard things to go through, especially being so close to my dad. I think in the end, I look back on my life and I see that there was a lot of tumultuous things that occurred where I tended to be fed. And so that's how we dealt with it. We didn't talk about it. We didn't talk about various things that were going on in our lives. I think my mom wasn't comfortable with it. It's like maybe she sheltered us and felt that it was better that she just give me food than have to deal with what the reality was. So I tend to do the same thing. I will go through severe bouts of depression after something goes on, and then I will lift myself up, and as I'm coming out of it, I just feed myself. So I just find comfort in food, and then I don't have to talk about it or deal with it. I just pretend all is good. And everybody goes through that, finds different ways of coping mechanisms, and that's how I've dealt with things throughout my life, is just by feeding my feelings, and specifically like sadness. So that's kind of how I have to find ways to fix what I do when I'm dealing with things that I'm not dealing with very well. So a few things that I've done in the past that have really, really helped is learn how to find confidence in myself and the ability to know my strengths and to do things that make me happy. And there are a few things that I find that I have to do in order to keep the thought of not getting either depressed or feeding myself. I have to find these coping mechanisms, which is usually something physical, like I love to walk, specifically outdoors. I love to go on hikes. I love to go on roller coasters. That's a big one. It's like a stress reliever. And then, but I love to travel and experience new things. And that is really, really good. For me to actually have some excitement, see something new, and then also find some time to decompress and relax. You have to have balance for me. So these are ways that I'm able to cope with them, but also learn how to talk about it too, because that is something that I've always just done. I just pushed it all down and not dealt with things. It makes it easier on me to just not deal with stuff. And this way, sometimes when I get really relaxed and stuff, I'm able to talk about things a little bit more, and it does help a little bit to where I feel like I can start my next journey or my next path of coming out of something that has occurred that has really taken a toll on my mental health. Now, I'm not saying I've always ate or I look like this because I've been sad. No. We also have surrounded ourselves with when we're happy. like getting together, I'm always like, let's go have lunch, or let's go have breakfast, or let's do this. Oh, not the best thing to do. I gotta find something else to try to maybe balance all that stuff. Other ways of gathering where it's not centered around food. Maybe it's a highlight of it, but it's not centered around it. No, maybe like a balance of a physical activity and then a nice meal. My friend and I did that when we would hike, and then we'd go have like a nice meal. Sometimes the meals were really good. But that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find that balance in those coping mechanisms. And another great way is just sitting with my kids and just talking with them. We're going to be working on a project on a house, and just being there with my daughter and my son and my son-in-law and my daughter-in-law and the grandkids and stuff, hanging or having them help and stuff. It actually is really, really enjoyable to see how we can build things together and make things happen. So, and it's always a slow process. Everything's a slow process for me. But very excited, very enjoyable, and I'm excited to see what 2023 has and how I'm going to be dealing with my feelings. And it's not all going to be about food, although when I travel, you want to try the food. So in next week's video, we're going to talk about, I'm going to be on a cruise next week, and we're going to talk, we're going to figure out how to balance out the food when you're traveling. It's all around. The food is all around.